One love, job bless. Fire Nelson here, and today I'm here to talk to you about how to create your own destiny. So it's very important that we, co-create truly our own destiny because the Most High really has a divine path laid out for us, but it's just up to come to the awareness of that path so that we can actually follow with what we are aligned to be following. So, how to create your own destiny, how to get out of the ways of hecticness and chaos, and finally help create your own destiny in a way that you actually feel throughout your day and throughout your life like you're not just going through it, or you're not just on a hamster wheel and you have no control, or you're just a victim to things in life. We don't want to feel a victim. We don't want to feel like we just are here existing and we have no control over anything. Nobody wants to feel like this. That having faith is different than just surrendering and no action and giving up. That's not what having faith means. Having faith is knowing that everything that you're doing, as long as it's righteous, out of a righteous place, for righteous standing, you know, knowing that everything that you're doing is helping push you towards the path where the Most High is trying to guide you. That's what having faith is. When you start using your faith, when you start using your belief in the universe in general, then you start to truly create your life, create your destiny, because it takes the steps we do now to truly create the best destiny later, because that is what our destiny is. It's something that right now seems like it may be far away, but little do we know, if we take the right actions and take the right steps and take the right mindset throughout our life, that destiny becomes closer and closer and closer than we could have ever imagined. But it takes that effort, it takes that discipline, and it takes that faith. We have to realize if we want to create our own destiny, we have to rely on something higher than ourselves, because it takes that, because a lot of society and a lot of, even what people say around us will tell us that our ideas are crazy, or it will never work, or you're going to need more money for that, or you're not old enough for that, or you're not young enough for that, or people have all these ideas and limitations in their head and they try to throw it at you. But if you don't have a strong faith in yourself and into a divine source, then you are going to be bled dry of that dream completely, because you have nothing, to go back to a source of and realize, oh, okay, yeah, I do have it. We can't always just rely on the gratification of getting, likes and comments, or getting someone's okay about a situation or about a craft or creativity, thing that you did. We have to rely on ourselves sometimes. Like Picasso, when he started painting and when he started doing art, many people didn't appreciate him. It wasn't until after he even passed that many people started appreciating him. And it's the same thing for a lot of music artists and all different types of, actors and different people who are dedicated to a craft. It doesn't even have to be entertainment and things like this. But like I said, when Picasso was even painting, he was making beautiful artworks, but nobody was truly appreciating it. And we have to realize that our destiny isn't about getting that instant, appreciation. Our destiny isn't about making sure that everybody is saying, oh yeah, that's a cool thing to do, or that's an awesome thing you're doing, or I can't believe you're doing that. That's so wild. That's so awesome. You're so cool. We're not looking for that. Sometimes your destiny isn't about the acclimates and the appreciations. It's not really about that. Sometimes we have to wait and we'll get that later, or sometimes you never do. But it's about the love of what you're doing. It's about you knowing the destiny that you want, whether it's involving other people or not, whether it's, helping other people or not, whether it's in arts or entertainment or not, whether it's whatever you want to do, whether it's you just want to live in the woods by yourself and just survive and thrive, because it's not survive, you're really living off the land. Then I truly, I commend people who can do this, who can live off the land, go in the woods, and just are good. So it's not about you getting praises and you getting, oh, I can't believe you're doing that, that's so awesome. It's not about that. What it's about is you knowing that what you're doing is bringing you a serenity, it's bringing you a peace, it's bringing you a joy. And that's all you need to worry about. Don't forget that. Don't let other people try to trick you out creating your best destiny, because they might not like the first product. They might not like the first artwork. They might not like whatever first thing you do. But I guarantee you by the 100th, by the 500th, they'll like it. And they'll especially like it. And they'll especially, give you, praises and give you, your credit due when they see other people giving you your credit. And that's a shame, but that's something that we have to realize. When we're creating our destiny, lots of people are just going to be, calling us crazy or saying that it can never happen, or saying that you should get this job instead, or you should do this instead, or trying to give our opinions and give us opinions and limitations in our own head, things that they have to deal with. But when we stay true to our path and we have that faith within us and we stay focused on what we need to do and what we keep doing, those same people who were doubting you are going to be the same ones congratulating you, acting like they were there supporting you since day one. And that's fine. We should be forgiving to them. We should, be glad that we're able to show them that, yes, this is possible. Yes, your limited thought process wasn't the correct way to be thinking. You can do whatever you want to. You can have your best life too. You can create your best destiny too. But it takes you having that faith, and it takes you not listening to others' limitations or even some of our own limitations that we tell ourselves. It takes not listening to these things. It takes cleaning up our mental and spiritual closet, when we just let, these beliefs just keep adding up and our ego keep adding up, and, all these things that are muddying up our blessings, that are muddying up our vessels, whether it's us acting out in irrational ways and we cause friction in our life, or whether we are battling with addictions because we are in love with, instant gratification, or we just want to escape life and aren't appreciating life for what it truly is. Whatever you're dealing with in many type of ways, in many type of forms, we have to clean this thing up little by little. Once we are able to clean ourselves, we are able to truly be able to have a clear path laid out for us so that we can walk the path that we need to go to our best and highest versions of ourselves, so that we can create our destiny and have a clear mind. When our room is dirty and you don't clean it at all for another week, and then another week, and then another week, and you don't have someone picking up after you, God willing, then the room is just going to keep getting dirty. The room is just going to keep on adding up filth, keep on adding up all this grime and things that are, you have to walk around and you're smelling things that are distracting you, and you're like, what is that? Where's that smell coming from? And all these things are happening, and you realize, oh, wow, if I cleaned up my room, maybe I could find this thing, or maybe I could think clearly, or maybe I wouldn't have these problems. Maybe I could see the path more clearly to, where I could study. Maybe I can clear off my desk so I can get this work done that I've been trying to do creatively. When we don't let our mental and spiritual self clean up, then it keeps building up and building up to the point where we don't even think of sitting down and meditating, or think of praying, or think of reading, because we're like, we have to handle all these other things. There's so much built up. When you let the dishes build up, nobody wants to do the dishes. So that's how it is. And sometimes it's not even consciously, but we subconsciously resist. We hear people all the time when we talk about, sometimes, well, for me, when I try to talk about, spiritual things and spiritual practice to people, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do that, or I do this, and so I'm good. People just give me alternatives sometimes and think, oh, they do that, so that's enough, or they don't need to do that, or they're good on that. Or And it's not that if I ask them, hey, oh, so you don't want to be at peace 100% of the time, you don't want to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually, and release blockages, they will say yes to all these things. But when I say that you need to meditate and you need to pray, then they'll say, oh, no, no. So it's not that their actual spirit or their mental even resist it. It's just there's something actually in their body that is built up, a natural resistance, a natural like fight or flight instinct when you talk about spirituality to somebody who needs to do a lot of spiritual cleaning. There is a spirit within them that is blocking them because they haven't cleaned out all these traumas. So it's built up into a mass and it's turned into a whole, dust bunny. We call these things spirits, these things that block us, these things that hold us back or bring us out of our character. We call these spirits, and we have to let these go. We have to release ourselves from these things by confronting them head on and making sure that we clean up whatever we need to clean up, reassociate with whatever we need to reassociate. Think about the past or this problem that happened in the past differently with a new awareness that you have. Maybe study on that, situation and see how other people who had that problem handled it, or, just read books in general that are self-help books in a broad basis, and you will find the answers that you need within these books when you are constantly digging yourselves into building yourselves up mentally, physically, and spiritually, and not just indulging in vegetative things like watching TV or scrolling on, Instagram and TikTok. So it takes effort to create your destiny. And I know you may have wanted to come on here and wanted just step by step version, but this is what it truly takes for your destiny to become clear, because all of us have a different destiny. All of us have a different path to take. It's not clear step by step. It's about clearing up things, clearing up, false beliefs, clearing up, limitations, and making sure that you're staying faithful in the path and the journey. This is the first couple things that you truly need to create your destiny. If you can't do these two things, then it's going to be a tough time. It's going to be a time where you may start certain things, and then before you know, you're stopping, you're back in your same cycle. I see it all the time. So what happens after you do this clearing, this mental cleaning, this spiritual cleaning, and you have this faith that everything from here on out is going to continue to work out for your greatest good because you're here, you're still alive now. Well, once you believe in these things and once you realize what you need to clean up, then you start to use your divine action. You start to look for opportunities where faith is calling you, where, the Most High is calling you to be guided to. Or maybe you have crafts and stuff and you already know what you should be doing, but you're just not doing it. Whether it's 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, hopefully we get up to 30, an hour a day, whatever it is. But we all have crafts and creative things and whatever you want to call them, even if it's working on cars and building up cars from scratch or whatever you do. We all have creative outlets that we know we could be doing every single day and should be doing every single day, but we sometimes let other things distract us. And lots of times it's valid things, work, and you have to cook and clean and, do a lot of things around the house, watch your kids and stuff like this. It's valid, but we have to put a dedication in our life if we want to create our destiny. Sometimes we're going to have to lose a bit of sleep. We don't want to go with 3 hours of sleep. I'm not talking about that, but Sometimes we're going to have to lose sleep. And if you're really dedicated, go on 3 hours of sleep. It's only one day. I wish I had sometimes more passion, towards my crafts so I can even stay up 24 hours or just go in complete dedication mode, because all it takes is truly a year of you consistently, just building up with that craft and consistency doing it every day, whether it's 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, or whatever, to the point where you start to see so much progress that it becomes like nothing to you, that, and you might see profit from it. So then it really gets interesting when you start to actually gain from this craft or this talent that you have. And this is where you start to see the dreams and the best destiny actually start to be created. When you put that time and that discipline into your life, where you're doing your creative, outlet, or you're doing your crafts, or you're doing your talents every single day, or at least every single week, then that's when you start to truly be able to create your destiny, because you're not going to create your destiny just working the same 9 to 5 you are and doing the same thing there that you are. If you want a promotion or you want things like that, then of course you're going to have to do things differently. You're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to pick up shifts. You're going to have to show you're committed to, the craft, just like with, a creative outlet. You're going to have to learn new things before they ask you to learn them. It's the same thing. It's the same process. But my main goal here is to get you out of making somebody else rich, making somebody else wealthy, paying for someone else's mortgage, and help pay for your own. Help you buy land, help you, be able to garden and provide for yourself so you don't have to go to the grocery store. Help you be able to be self-sustaining, and not only yourself, but generations to come. This is my goal, not only for us and not only for me, but for for all of us, So we want to create our best destiny by chasing our goals and chasing our talents, and making sure that we're nurturing these things every single day, every single week, as much as we can. We don't want to stress ourselves out if we miss a day. We don't want to push ourselves to the limit where we're not getting enough rest. But if you have time, if you have 30 minutes, 15 minutes extra a day, which we all have, put it towards your craft. It doesn't have to be completed. Just put a little bit towards it. A couple paint strokes, a couple lyrics on a song, a couple, tricks on a skateboard, or whatever your passion is. Tighten a couple bolts on a car. Whatever your passion is, just put a few, moments of the day into it, and it will make you feel 1,000 times better. I know what it feels like going a week, months, even a year not doing my crafts, and I know how it doesn't drain me per se, but it makes me feel I am missing an opportunity of blessings, because that's what it truly is. When we're not living out to our fullest potential, and we know that we have this talent, or we know that we can do this craft, or we know that we can, be better in our life, and we simply just go on months and months and months not doing that, then we know that we are blocking a blessing. It's just simple as that, because when we are not living out to our fullest potential, no matter how tired we may think we are, no matter how, hard we may think it's going to be, no matter how, unqualified we may think that we might be, we are enough. We are more than enough. And we are definitely worthy of receiving these blessings, and definitely are worthy of having the time and the free space to be able to enhance ourselves in whatever way we want to, indulge in whatever we want to, as long as it's positive and righteous. If you want to create your destiny, you have to create. You have to use divine action. You have to change yourselves, but not in a way that's different from where you were going anyway, but just push yourselves further and further to the best versions that you can be. Come to a realization that you have plenty of time in the day. Yes, you need about 6-7 hours to sleep. Then people usually work for about 7 hours. But then there's a whole nother, 10 hours usually. You might have an hour to shower and eat. Maybe an hour and a half I'll give you to shower and eat. That's a whole still, 8 hours, 8.5 hours. So you may meditate for an hour or 2 hours. Do your spiritual practices for like 2.5 hours. You still have about 4 hours to just do creative things, to just indulge into whatever you want to in life. Don't waste it watching TV. Don't waste it on the internet. Don't waste it just moseying around, If you got to do chores, that takes another, 15, 30 minutes. If you don't let them build up, don't let that room build up and get dirty, because then we definitely ain't moving. Then we definitely ain't seeing the path. When we let things build up, it creates more work for us. When we do things every single day, when you take 10, 15 minutes a day, every single day to clean up, 30 minutes a day, every single day to clean up, eventually there'll be less and less for you to clean up. Some weeks, they might be more, but 9 times out of 10, there'll be less and less for you to clean up. Your life isn't hectic. You're just making it hectic. I'm sorry to say it, but this is the truth. I had to realize it, and everybody needs to realize it, so that we can realize that we can live in peace. We can live in serenity. There's no need to get all heightened emotions and, tempered and, quick to snap. And there's no need to get all this, anxious thoughts and fearful thoughts. We don't need to think like this. We can stay relaxed. We can stay peace. There's no need to stress over spilled milk, as they say. Well, we shouldn't be drinking milk anyway. We shouldn't be worrying about milk anyway. We shouldn't be worrying about things in this life that are not for us anyway. That's not, actually aligned with our mind, body, and spirit anyway. We should be only focused on what the Most High and what the truth of the universe truly is that this universe and the Most High is pushing us to our highest and greatest version. Not pushing us. Sometimes they push us. Sometimes they do push us almost to the ground. But the Most High is truly guiding us to our highest and best version. But we have to use our awareness, and we have to use our divine action. We can't just let weeks and months go by us not doing a craft, If I just let this channel sit for weeks and months, I'm sure many of you guys would probably leave and forget about this whole channel completely. So this is exactly the same type of mindset we need to have with ourselves. Is we know that if we don't look at this celebrity, we'll forget about him completely. If we don't, until something pops up in the news feed or something. But we know that our mind is constantly being burdened and distracted with many things, So a month can turn into 6 months. 6 months can turn into a year can turn into 5 years. And before you know it, you forget you even had this craft. Nobody wants to get to that point, when you're old and you finally like, why didn't I ever nurture this? I should have done this. Nobody wants to get to that point. Live your life now. Live your destiny now. Live now. Don't wait till later. Don't wait till you're old. Invest a little bit that you can. If you need, certain things for your craft, invest a little bits as you can. Make a jar just for that until you can save up enough to get what you need to start doing what you need to do. It doesn't matter. There's no excuse, One of the best advice I've heard about money saving is we always have money to save, That wasn't exactly it. The best advice I've heard about money saving, it is that we always have money to save, but pay yourself first. That's what I really mean by always have money to save, is that when you get paid, you should be paying yourself first. And at first I was confused about this. I'm like, how pay myself first, but then how am I going to pay the rest of my bills and things like this? But when you pay yourself first, we usually try to do a 10% of what you got paid. If you can do more, and if you have to do less, then do less. But pay yourself. Whether it's $5, whether it's $100, whether it's, $10, $20, whatever, pay yourself first. Put it away somewhere you're not going to touch it. I have a physical jar, and I also try to put stuffs into a stock account. And I know I don't touch those things because if it hits my savings, if I need something really bad, I'm gonna take it out of my regular bank savings. But my stock and my jars, I don't touch until the jar fills up, and then I'll take it out of that. But there's certain things where you need to put your money and just leave it there and don't touch it. You'll know when you really, really need to touch it. And it's not when you're late for rent. It's not when you can't even pay rent. It's not when you can't pay your car bill. That's not what it's for. It's for if you get 3 months down and you can't pay your car, you still haven't paid your car bill. But it's truly for your life. It's truly so you can have security and so that you can use that money. Not so that you can use it to get you out of a hole. No. We're supposed to be able to use that money and use it to, like I said, put it in a stock, put it in some place where it's going to double, put it into your business, put it into your craft, put it into somewhere where that it's going to double. You don't need to put it all in there. Just put 10% of what you have saved up over the past 6 months. Just put what you can little by little into something that you start to see income coming back from it. This is how we're going to get out of this rat race and be able to create our dreams when we start paying ourselves first. When I started doing this, magically everything else still continued to get paid for exactly how it needed to. I didn't lack in any areas of where I was paying for things before. I could still even up the amount that I save every month, and I probably would still end up just the same as I do now. But it's just getting over that hurdle of that first $50 or that first $100, because we think that we need to save and hold everything for the now, and we just end up wasting it. Our Amazon list is 70 items, or we see this new shoe that dropped, or we see this really good restaurant that we really want to go to and didn't check out what the menu looked like, and it turns out it's $100 a plate, and we're like, okay, whatever. But we don't realize that doing this is making us delay a blessing that could be coming later. Of course, have fun. Of course, go out, every once in a while, have some good food and things like this. But if you don't, per se, in this magical world, if you don't do that, if you have the discipline not to do that, in 6 months, I promise you, you'll be a whole different person. If you have the discipline to not go out, if you have the discipline to not stop at the gas station and get snacks and a drink and all these things, and you're cooking at the house, you're eating at the house, you're making sure that you're buying, very simple things that are going to be nutritious for your body, mind, and spirit, of course, but simple things. You're not over here buying a steak. You're not over here buying like expensive, sauces and all these different things that you don't need. You're not over here buying, pistachios and just expensive nuts, and we're over here getting peanuts and cranberries and oranges and apples and veggies and rice, and live off these things for a while. Stack up for 6 months. Don't go out and spend all these habits, and pay yourself first, and come back here and tell me how you have stayed in the same place. I want to see if you stayed in the same place. Come back here and tell me, hey, I stayed in the same place. I started paying myself first every single month, every single week if you can. And I didn't go out and didn't spend any money, and somehow I'm still broke and I still have no way of seeing out. I have no way of getting closer to my best destiny, my best life. It's impossible. If you start paying yourself first and you start using your discipline to not be such a consumer, America is the biggest consumer country in this world. We have been brainwashed as children to want, and think that our wants are our needs. If you tell someone that they can't have something, they flip out. If you tell someone, hey, we're no longer going to eat this, and they eat this thing all the time, they're going to flip out. Not even taking into the consideration how much other foods are out there. But we want what we want when we want it in this, society. And it's not even just America, it's a lot of places. But, most places have a more humbleness about them. But America is filled with this greed. We have to realize we don't need as much as we think we do. Lots of the stuff that we think that we need is really a want, but we're just so used to overconsumption that we really bite ourselves in the foot, shoot ourselves in the foot. We could be doing so much, and we could be, learning so much more, and we could be having a much more, uplifting experience. We could be using the same money we used to go out to buy a family trip and have nice dinners there. Then come back, never go out for 6 months, and you eat good food at the house, good healing food at the house. Yeah, you may never really go out. Yeah, you may not go shopping for a bunch of clothes. Yeah, you may not do this and that. But then all of a sudden you're able to pay off your mortgage. Then all of a sudden you don't need to pay rent anymore. Then all of a sudden you don't even need the job anymore because you've been putting money away towards your craft. All this within 5 years, 10 years. Sometimes it's quicker than that. We have to realize when we sacrifice the outside consumerism things, then we are truly creating our destiny. We are truly making way for blessings to come, because the Most High is saying, geez, that person is dedicated. Geez, that person is truly making sure that they are gaining wealth. They're not just, greedily holding on to money. That's not what we're doing. We're not hoarding money. We are just making sure that we are stacking away generational wealth, and that we get to a point where we are investing that money as well as saving it, investing a little, saving a little, investing a little, saving a little. Maybe you save a lot one time where you get a lot of money that week or that month. And we do this until the point that we are investing, whether it's in our craft or whether it's in stocks or whatever it is, but we're investing until the point that we are getting so much return that we don't even need to touch the stuff that we've been saving. We just start living off of the returns that we're getting. We start living off of our craft. We start living off of our financial freedom that we have created. When we do this, we're able to focus more on ourselves instead of always worrying about, making sure that we are early for our job, or always making sure that we are on time for this and that. When we are working, like I said, that's 7 hours usually, sometimes lots of times more for a lot of people, considering the traffic, driving back and forth as well, of course. But that's 7 hours at least out of our day that's taken out. So once you become someone who is involved in a craft that you love, or involved in a talent that you love, or you just love the job that you are at, whatever job it is, and you have been able to show and get the raise and the promotion that you want, then you are truly creating the best life. When you truly get to that point where you're able to not stress about money as you were, because you realize you are gaining more than you could even spend. You're not worrying about your savings anymore. That's just a normal thing that you do. You just save every week now. But we have to use this discipline. When we have faith, this discipline comes easier. That's why faith is the number one thing, because lots of people, when you tell them, oh, put away $20 a week, put away $20 a month even, they're like, I can't put away $20. I'm gonna be broke. I can barely even afford what I do now. But trust me, trust the Most High. That $20 is not gonna be inconvenience at all. It's not even gonna be a thought. You're gonna be like, wow, I was able to pay for everything that I was supposed to. What if I up it to $50? The Most High works in mysterious ways. This universe is a mysterious place, but it's a place full of blessings. And you have to come to that realization that the Most High is always pushing us to our highest and greatest version, always guiding us. So I hope those, couple tips, it was like 3 tips, help you out to create your best, destiny, your best life, the best version of yourself. But it's going to take that faith. It's going to take you truly believing that there is a best version for you, that the best life is for you, that you're not here just to suffer. You're not here just to, constantly be let down and disappointed. That's not what we're here for. You're not here to just live barely, above broke every single week, every single month. You're not here for that either. We're here in a life that's full of abundance. There's more than enough for everybody. Don't worry about what everybody else is saying. Don't worry about the amount of debt that America may be in, or whatever country you're in may be in. There's more than enough for everybody, but we just have to come to the consciousness and the awareness that this place is abundant. This place is divine and loving for us. It is fruitful for us to enjoy the fruit. So to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but you have to labor. You have to put in the work and put in the effort. And then when you do this, you will see that your destiny just starts to clear up, especially when you clear up yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, and all those past things that are holding you back and limiting you from being the best version of yourself. You will see the path literally clear up and be like, wow, I know why I was getting blocked, and along the process, you'll see when other blockages come, okay, I can see how this happened. I can see why this happened. So stay aware, stay patient, stay disciplined, stay faithful, stay clean. Don't let things affect you. Just let them think how they want to think, Know yourself, and everything will come into your life perfectly aligned with when and how it's supposed to come. So if you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, share. And I appreciate everybody that's been doing that, And I hope you have a blessed journey creating your best life, your best destiny, truly creating your destiny the way that's supposed to be, which is full of love, full of wealth, mentally, physically, and spiritually, full of healing and all things good by the eyes of the Most High. One love.